What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and foes? Welcome to the Jake Brown Podcast. Appreciate you tuning in wherever you're listening. I don't know, maybe it's on iTunes, maybe it's on Amazon Music, maybe you found me on YouTube, or good old-fashioned Spotify. Or maybe you came across me on Twitter /X, whatever you prefer, at Jake Brown Pod. I appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate everyone who subscribes, leaves 5-star reviews, means a lot. Hope you enjoyed the conversation I did with Mallory Dobbs last week. I thought that, aside from some technical difficulties, I thought it went very well. And actually, we have agreed we are going to do a couple of mid-season shows where she can update as to how her progress is going, especially with her trips back and forth to Europe to race. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I will keep everyone up to date as to what's going on with those interviews. Next week, I'm going to do a little preview here. I have another great guest coming on. Jessica Miller is going to be joining me. She is a former educator. Well, really, she's a current educator, specializing in behavior work. And I think it's going to be a great show. We're all going to learn a whole bunch about the ins and outs of the special education system, mainly in this state, but as it applies across the country. Jessica is very knowledgeable. She's very good at what she does, and I think that a lot of parents could potentially benefit from the information that is going to be exchanged on that episode. So look out for that. We're gonna actually, I think on Friday next week, we're gonna get together and record. So probably late Friday afternoon, or maybe even Saturday, once I've had a chance to kind of listen and maybe do some edits if need be. I'll get that show posted. Man, two things I haven't done. I haven't given an update on boxing for quite a while, I feel like. And that was one of the premises of this show was, kind of documenting my boxing journey. So I'm going to do that today, man. But first, before I get to that, I'm struggling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm struggling big time. I am not even 2 months in to doing my squats and my push-ups 100 every day, and I'm struggling. Like, normally the goal when I wake up every morning, get out of bed and just knock those bitches out. Just knock them out, just get them done. It takes like 6-7 minutes to do it. But for whatever reason, and I think deep down, I know what the reason is, I'm lazy. Officially, whatever the reason is, I have been pushing the reps out until like late at night sometimes. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, shit. I still got to do my push-ups and my squats. Does anyone else out there suffer from a severe case of procrastination? I mean, I know like everyone says they do, but who out there legitimately procrastinates on the simplest of tasks, whatever that task might be? It could be a fitness related task. It could be a work related task. Maybe a nutrition related task. Maybe it's housework, your laundry or some dishes. Maybe you just don't feel like walking the dog, but you need to, because if you don't, the dog's going to dig a hole in your couch or eat a bunch of your furniture, whatever that task might be. I am the absolute worst when it comes to tackling a simple task. And I don't know why I'm like that. There's something that is hardwired in my brain. I know that sounds like such an excuse, but it feels like there's something that is just hardwired in my brain that when I think of something that I need to do, or when I acknowledge that, hey, this X, Y, and Z needs to get done, I then will sit and spend more time strategizing how to do it in the least amount of time possible than if I just would have started and got that motherfucker done. And I don't know why I do this to myself. It's almost like some form of like self-sabotage, you know? I don't understand it. and it just and it's like I'm it's almost like I'm taking a step back and observing myself as if I were like the star of some shitty reality show. And it's like I'm watching myself not do the things that I need to be doing, except I can't communicate with myself to get myself to stop it and right the ship and start doing what I need to be doing. And it's not like in all aspects of my life. It's just in the stupid, small, mundane tasks that I don't know are just a part of my everyday life, you know? And lately, that small task has been these fucking push ups and squats. Ugh, they're just driving me nuts. And I'm not even 2 weeks in. Or 2 months in, I'm sorry. I'm not even 2 full months in yet. God, it's been like 7 weeks. Like, I'm so close to 2 months. I I'm struggling with these, man. And it's not even that they're difficult. I'm just like, "Nah, I just don't wanna do it right." Like, I create every excuse in the book to not do them. And then when I do just knock them out, it takes like 5 minutes and I'm done. And really all I can do is just like shake my head at myself because I'm embarrassed with my effort. So I don't know, maybe I need to create some time restraint, some time boundaries that I need to get. I think loosely I just said like I'm going to do them every day. Well, if I take that, literally, I have at that point I have 24 hours to get them done. And as a result, I find myself doing fucking squats and push-ups at 11 o'clock at night some nights because I've slacked off all day and not just got them done. In the time I can literally get these done in the time it takes for me to brew a small pot of my decaf coffee. I have one of the little like mini Mr. Coffees, like they're not real big. I can get all 100 push-ups and all 100 squats done in the amount of time it takes to fill that little fucking coffee pot. So why don't I just do it? What is the deal? You want to hear my favorite button on this new soundboard that I have? Here's the sound of me internally when I avoid my push-ups and when I'm avoiding my squats. Yeah, it's just a massive fail. It's a massive fail. And it's 100% mental. It is 100% mental. There's nothing for me, physically demanding about doing these push-ups and squats. It is just mental, and I just don't want to do them. And then I find that I'm having to force myself to do them. So I don't. Maybe I just need to change my outlook. That's just easier said than done, though, isn't it? Oh God, I don't know. I haven't even done them today yet. And I knew I was going to talk about this on today's episode. I knew I was going to talk about it. And here I am. I could have got them done while my decaf was brewing. Did I? Nope. Nope. I didn't. I didn't. I thought about doing them even before I started recording this episode. I was like, oh, just knock those out. No, I didn't. I just came and sat down and did a little research. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I am so focused on the amount of time it's going to take to get through a full year of these. Like, I'm not just looking kind of short term and maybe setting short goals. Like, I need to stop focusing on the totality of this goal, which is 300. Well, this year it's 366 days of this shit. And I've got to find another way to 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 look at this challenge that I've given myself, because I cannot continue to just focus on the big picture. It's too overwhelming. I liken it to painting, which I absolutely loathe. I hate painting. I hate it. I hate painting so much that, like, 4 or 5 years ago, I had my bathroom. I had to completely gut and remodel my bathroom. Very long story, which ended with water damage and then a sledgehammer on my end. So fast forward, uh, whole new bathroom. I still haven't painted the the hallway sheetrock yet. I still haven't painted. It's not even that much. It's like two walls. I still haven't painted the fucking ceiling in the actual bathroom yet. I did get the walls painted before they put, like, the tub and the shower and, the vanity in and all that stuff. I painted before I got the walls painted before they did all that. That way they could just put that stuff up and then it was good to go. But I mean, if you look up at the ceiling, fucking ceiling is still unpainted. The entryway, like the other side of the wall, because like the entire wall had to come out. Uh, Still unpainted. I hate painting that much that I just have accepted that it's just sheetrock, and that's like, I don't know. That's kind of how I view these push-ups and sit-ups, or push-ups and squats. I'm just like, and it would be so easy to just paint the hallway. It would be so easy. Just like it's so easy to just do these push-ups and these squats, but I just can't bring myself to consistently knock them out in the morning like clockwork. Am I weak? Am I a weak human? Who else has these same kinds of problems with whatever your task might be? At Jake Brown Pod on Twitter, on Instagram. Feel free to leave a comment under these shows as well. I There have been some comments on Spotify. I have randomly checked like the Amazon and the iTunes, and I don't see any comments there. And I'm honestly, I don't know if the ability to even leave comments is active on those platforms. Someone did leave a comment on YouTube, but I didn't really know what they were talking about, so I just kind of ignored it. No offense, whoever left the comment. But I don't get notifications from those other platforms. I only get notifications from Spotify that someone has left a comment. So, hey, I would love to hear whatever it is that you just struggle bus with on a daily basis, or maybe it's just a certain thing that when that's coming down the pipe, you are just going to struggle bus with it. No matter what, you are just going to struggle. Because I know I'm not alone out there. I know I'm not alone out there. Where are my fellow procrastinators? Oh God. All right. Boxing. Uh Boxing has been going well, surprisingly. I'm still, very much a beginner. I'm still very much a novice. You know, I in the big picture, the big scheme of things, I don't know shit. All right, I know nothing. I know just enough to be dangerous, really, to myself, thinking that I might know something. I still know nothing. However, maybe I should be a little nicer to myself. I am improving. Things are starting to feel just a tiny, tiny bit more comfortable. Um, my main coaches at the gym I go to, shout out Brick Three Boxing in Olympia. Um, they're definitely putting me in positions to succeed. So they're not just throwing me to the wolves. Uh, they see that I've been working hard. They've actually been giving me a little bit of ring time, not sparring because we got one guy who needs to work on his defense. He wants to work on his defense, and for me, I need to work on throwing combinations and moving my feet and that kind of stuff. So we've been getting in the ring. He doesn't throw any punches at me, and I'm just throwing light combinations at him. So we both get to kind of work on what it is that we need to work on, and it's been a good way just to have a live target. It benefits both of us, and I'm getting rounds in. I'm still going up to spar a little bit at T-Town MMA. Elliot lets me go up there, light sparring, and the little I have my coach's voices in the back of my head when when I'm sparring. Of all the things that they tell me to work on. Fight from the chin. Protect the chin. Move the feet. Just all the stuff that on a weekly basis they're pounding into my head day after day after day, is then running through my head when I'm doing the light sparring. So overall, yes, I am making progress. It is getting better. Still having an absolute blast. I have no plans of quitting. As far as someday am I ever going to do like an actual fight? I don't know. Maybe time will tell. But for right now, I'm 100% content. Light sparring, and when the time comes, doing some harder sparring. Um, it- the way I look at it, a fight is a fight is a fight, and whether or not I'm in a sanctioned fight or whether I'm hard sparring at another gym or whether I'm sparring in my own gym, helping, my teammates getting ready for whatever bouts they might have, it's still a fight to me. And I'm still practicing the skills that I've been learning, and I'm completely happy with that. Uh, if I was 20 years younger, I think I would have a completely different outlook on that. But that's just not my reality. Unfortunately, I got into this sport at a very old age compared to, you know, compared to a lot of people. Um, this is definitely a young man's game. And, fortunately for me, I keep myself in good enough shape and I'm athletic enough that I can kind of overcome some of my inadequacies from a talent standpoint. But eventually those will catch up to my athleticism. And then hopefully I can be somewhat of an average boxer, which is my goal. I just want to be somewhat average. If I can be somewhat average, that's still going to be, 10 times better than 99% of the people on this planet. So that's that's kind of, I guess that's how my boxing corner, that's how things are going in the boxing world for me right now. Um, just keep plugging away. Hey, whatever your chosen sport is that you've decided to tackle, I think you can probably empathize with me a little bit. Like it's rough at the beginning. And then the more you stick with it, you kind of, things start to click a little bit and you kind of start to understand, why things are working and why things are not working. And then we make adjustments. Um, on the motorcycle front, I am excited. My first race is in now 24 days. I'm extremely excited for that. Plus, I don't know if all you off-road guys out there. Registration for the Desert 100 just opened up, I believe, today, so we can now get registered for that. Cannot wait. 100 miles of bliss. And hopefully this year it's not 70 miles of bliss followed by 30 miles of ow, I think my fucking leg is broken. Let me try to limp this bike in. So we're not having a repeat of that this year. I'm better rider. I got better suspension under me. I'll definitely a lot more confident. The goals I've set for myself from a time standpoint, I know I'm going to make them. So I just want to get to that starting line and just go, baby. All right. Man, my main topic for today, one thing that I don't know, I don't want to say that I didn't think about it, but I just kind of spaced it, I just kind of spaced it. We are in an Olympic year, ladies and gentlemen. The 2024 Summer Games coming up this summer from Paris. Oh man, I love the Olympics. I really do. I always look forward. When I was a kid, I loved to watch the Olympics. I love to watch all the different random events. Think of the most random event. And I think the one that really comes to mind isn't even from the Summer Olympics. It's from the Winter Olympics. Curling. Talk about a sport that any Joe Schmo can become good at, and then they have a chance to be an Olympian and win an Olympic medal. Curling. I fucking love it. I love that there are just random ass sports out there that anyone can just go and do. And if they put the time in, they can become great. And then they can potentially become an Olympian. And they take it just as serious as anyone. As anyone. So I wanted to go through all the different Olympic events. And some of these, honestly, were news to me. I didn't know, because, the coverage of the Olympics, they don't always show all the sports. And, especially when I was a kid, NBC always had the Olympic Games. They would always have the Summer Games. Well, they would just, I don't know, for the most part, just show the more popular sports, like the track and field, the basketball, I don't know, hockey, soccer, stuff, the ski jump, the moguls, stuff like the big ticket competitions, NBC would show. And then if you had, MSNBC and some of the smaller kind of cable affiliate networks, then you could watch a lot of just the random shit, equestrian, archery, handball, and I always loved to watch the obscure stuff because they take it every bit as serious as, hey, the Dream Team. They're Olympians, just like the guys who weightlift, just like the guys who do table tennis. They're all Olympic. They all take it insanely serious to be the best at whatever their sport is. I just think it's cool, man. I just think it's cool. Plus, it's kind of nice because I feel like, it's one of the few times where everyone just kind of comes together and just kind of shuts the fuck up about all the things that they're bitching and moaning about. And we all just kind of focus on sports. And anytime that we as a society, as a country, as a planet can just kind of come together over one thing that's super rad, which are sports, uh, it's a good thing. It's good for all of us. So I found this list straight off Olympics.com where they list all the sports. 3-on-3 basketball, I had no clue that that was an Olympic event. Has it always been an Olympic event? Is this the first Summer Games that it's going to be an Olympic event? Are they going to let NBA players in? Because I figure, I mean, how cool would it be, like, if you are an NBA player who, for whatever reason, couldn't make Team USA to play basketball? Could they then start forming, like some of the guys who were maybe left off, could they start forming 3-on-3 teams and then enter the 3-on-3 tournament? I mean, how sick would that be? That would be awesome. And people would tune in to watch that. I mean, if you had a bunch of NBA stars who weren't a part of Team USA from a basketball standpoint, or we'll just call it the Dream Team, but they decided to go do the 3-on-3 stuff, oh my God, cameras everywhere. And they would probably just steamroll people. But then you also have to figure that, like, you know, a lot of the Euro players are going to be doing the same thing. A lot of the, you know, the Chinese and Japanese players are going to be doing the same thing. A lot of the Canadian players are going to be doing the same thing. So it honestly, it could make for some amazing 3-on-3 basketball. Archery, archery's cool as hell. I love watching those guys shoot. I mean, assuming you can find it on the TV. Artistic gymnastics, is that with the ribbons, like where they're on the floor doing all the, you know, the tumbling, and they have the two ribbons? I don't know, it might be that. It's that rhythmic gymnastics. I don't, you know, I honestly, I get a lot of these mixed up. Artistic swimming, is that where they all kind of dance underwater? I feel like what the official names are, and then maybe like how I know them, like this last one here for the, in case you don't realize, I'm going alphabetically. Athletics. So if you don't know what athletics is, you think, well, that's weird. Aren't all these athletics? Well, I guess from an Olympic standpoint, athletics is track and field. I don't know why they just didn't put track and field, but they put athletics. And that was always, you know, hands down my favorite. I think, you know, I was running track, you know, from the time I was a tiny kid. So I always loved to, I would sit and, you know, watch like Carl Lewis. You know, I remember watching Carl Lewis for the first time during, what was it? The LA games. Was that 84? Yeah, I believe that was 84. And God, he was so fast. And then again in 88 in Seoul. So he was so fast. And I love the red uniforms that Team USA wore back then. I know they have mixed in some blue ones. I never understood like the color combos. I don't know. I just feel like we need to get back to the red a little bit more. We have that weird dark blue, which I get is on the American flag, but I just don't like that shade of blue. The red, like the red and the white, just pops more. We got badminton. That's like, are these sports? Can you do these and drink beer? Do they allow you to have a beer sitting courtside? Are you allowed to smoke weed and play badminton? Well, I don't think you can smoke weed because it's still on their banned or their performance enhancing list. Like, no one's performance is enhanced from smoking weed. Trust me. Baseball and softball, I think that's cool as hell. And we are, and I say we, like Team USA, you know, we are not the juggernaut in some of these kind of big ticket sports. Like baseball is not, you can't just say that we are the best at baseball. You know, there are a lot of Latin American teams. Japan is very good. Canada is very good at baseball. So to simply assume that we're just going to like, steamroll all these other countries and all these sports is it's silly. Other countries have decided to dump some money and some resources into training and preparing their athletes to compete with us. We're the badass on the block, and everyone wants to beat Team USA in whatever sport it is. So honestly, it just makes for better entertainment for us, the fans, for the viewers. We got beach volleyball, which is near and dear to my heart. Growing up at the beach, I definitely played a lot of beach volleyball as a kid. I love volleyball. Volleyball is so much fun to play. And I don't understand why it kind of gets this bad rap. If guys play volleyball, oh, that's a chick's game. No, it's not. No, it's not. Volleyball is for everybody. It is fun. And it's hard. It's a lot of work. I would encourage everyone to go play some volleyball. It's one thing on a court where your footing is a little more stable. When you get in sand, yeah, go jump for a couple hours in the fucking sand. Let me know how easy that is. I don't know. Personally, I can't get enough volleyball. It's just to me, it's just like any other sport that I have always loved to play. If I get a chance to play some volleyball, I will volley it up. Boxing. I've never really watched Olympic boxing, but I think I'm going to have more of an interest in it this year. And if I get a chance to watch some boxing, amateur boxing is very, very different than professional boxing. Professional boxing is, more of a marathon. You could have anywhere from 8 to 12 rounds, where amateur fighting, it's 3 3-minute rounds. Sometimes it's just 3 2-minute rounds. And there are some tournaments you go to where there may be so many people, you may just do 3 1-minute rounds. So they are very, very fast paced, lots of combinations. You have to leave an impression on the judges that you're more active, that you're scoring more points. And it's just very, very different than watching professional boxing, which can be a little slower tempoed. Breaking, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what breaking is. What is? I don't know. I'm clicking on it and nothing's happening. But also known, breakdancing. That's a sport? See, this is what's fascinating to me, is that there are now so many different new sports that are affiliated with the Olympics. I had no idea that breakdancing was an Olympic sport. No idea. Will I watch it? I mean, if it's on, if I can find it, I'll watch it. Canoe flatwater, canoe slalom. I've seen a little bit of that. That looks brutally difficult. Plus, don't they barrel roll upside down? And I just feel like what if you can't get yourself uprighted? I mean, obviously, these men and women wouldn't be in the Olympics if they weren't able to get themselves righted. But I don't know. Maybe I have a fear of drowning. A healthy fear. I feel like I'm a pretty good swimmer. I think I've been swimming longer than I've actually been walking. No joke. When you grow up at the beach, you are usually in swimming lessons at a very, very, very young age. It's not uncommon for, babies to be at the pool, just getting exposed to the water. But that doesn't mean I don't have a healthy fear of drowning. So canoeing has never really been something I've been interested in doing. I like to paddleboard. I'll paddleboard all day. That's a lot of fun to me. But canoeing, down the rapids and stuff like that, I just haven't really had a desire. Cricket's cool to watch. I don't understand any of it, except that they throw that ball so hard And what do they have? Like the big shin guards, and they hit it with the paddle. I don't understand how they score points. I don't understand anything about it, but I love how passionate those fans get. I love watching the players compete. BMX freestyle, BMX racing, mountain biking, cycling on road courses, cycling on the tracks, like those wood tracks, the banked ones. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I've never really been much for the freestyle stuff. Like even with dirt bikes, when they're doing the big jumps and they just jump over and over and over. That's all they do. Like, it's cool. It doesn't mean I don't have respect for what they do. I just prefer racing. You know, I don't. It's too subjective for me. You know, the freestyle stuff. Same with like, and I enjoy the gymnastics, but and like, you know, like figure skating. If there's judges involved, you know, it's just like, it's one thing to do it, you know, but it's another thing to watch it and think, all right, like, is any of this corrupt? You know, like we've all heard stories of athletes kind of getting screwed over by the judges. Like I think that's why I've always just been more into like a race that is decided by whoever wins, or a competition, you know, whoever scores the most points. You know, that's why I like basketball, because you can't really argue it. Whoever scores more points is going to win. Same with hockey. Whoever scores more goals is going to win. But when you're like, gymnastics can get frustrating when you think someone absolutely crushes a routine and then they get like all eights. And it's like, seriously? Someone, you think one of those judges isn't getting paid off, or all of them? Like, come on. Come on. Corruption is everywhere. Diving. Ugh. I have this weird thing with falling that I don't think I could ever dive. After a certain height, I'm out. I'm out after a certain height. And they get way up there. Like, way up there. Is that like a slow build up to that? Or like day one, do they just throw you on the highest platform and are like, well, you better get used to it. Fucking jump. I don't know. We got equestrian. I watch that every once in a while. I mean, I guess I don't really understand the intricacies of it, but I mean, the horses are cool. I like the getup they wear, you know, like with the pants and like the blazer and the hat. Like, I think they all look cool. Fencing is badass. And I wish there was something locally. I don't know, maybe there is. I think it would be fun to just go sword fight. I know there's a lot more to it. It's not, you know, it's not like, you know, the what was that? What was that movie? The Princess Diaries. A lot of sword fighting in the Princess Diaries. I don't think it's necessarily like that. I mean, one, you're not fighting to the death. Wouldn't that be an added twist? They take all the gear off and they give them legit swords, like with points and razors on one side, and they just fight to the death. That would get some ratings. God, you'd have to be a complete psychopath to enter that. Like, a gold medal is not good enough, because there's only one winner and then everyone else is dead. It's not the case. That is not the case in the women's marathon, where there's one winner and then everyone else gets murdered. That is not the case in any. Could you imagine if fencing, they're just like, fuck it, we have an open division now. There will be one winner who gets a gold medal. Everyone else is dead. Flag football, I had no idea. How many other countries play football in general? Football, and I'm talking American football. Football is such an American game. Like, most people don't even understand. I think there's a lot of people in this country who don't even understand how it's played, what the rules are. Like, there's so much bullshit to football. So, like, I guess I have a hard time believing that there's a whole ton of flag football teams from other countries. Like, where are these people playing at? And we got football, or as we call it here, soccer. That's always fun to watch. I do love watching Olympic soccer. I love how insanely passionate the fans are for soccer. That really, when people kind of, they joke about, oh, it's a global game. Well, it is a fucking global game. It legit is a global game that everyone around the world plays. Golf, I don't really have that much. I mean, I like golf. I like to play golf. I do enjoy watching, like, the majors if I can find a TV, because I don't have cable. But Olympic golf, I don't know. It just doesn't have, it doesn't carry the weight, for me at least, to, like, sit and watch. Handball and hockey, I'm assuming it's field hockey, but I don't know. Maybe ice hockey identifies as a summer Olympic sport now. I have no idea. Oh my God, do you hear this music in the background? Don't Stop Believing, except it's an orchestra version. We're going to turn that off because that was driving me nuts. We got judo. We got karate. Those are cool. Any kind of combat sport is cool. Between judo, karate, and boxing and wrestling, there's a lot of people fighting. There's a lot of people fighting at the Olympics. I think they should just do an open. They should just call it Olympic Mixed Martial Arts, and everyone just goes into one competition and just may the best fighter win. So who do you think would win if it was an open tournament? We have boxers, we have judo, we have karate, and we have wrestlers. Round robin tournament, into brackets to determine a winner. Which discipline do you think wins? I don't know. I think the wrestler, once a wrestler gets a hold of you, you're done. You're fucking done. I think a boxer, if they could keep distance, could tune up a wrestler. Judo's lots of kicks, but if you're in close, they can't kick. And if you get your hands on them, you'll just strangle them or pin them or make them tap. Honestly, I don't know much about karate, but all the stuff I've seen on YouTube leads me to think that they probably wouldn't do maybe as well. But who knows? Ultimately, I think the wrestlers would probably just steamroll the competition. Lacrosse. I don't know anything about lacrosse. I know that lots of high schools play it. We didn't have lacrosse when I was in high school. I don't really think it was much of a sport back in the 90s, at least where I was. It was nothing. No one played lacrosse. But now high schools all over the place are playing lacrosse. It is college scholarship to play lacrosse. There's professional lacrosse leagues in this country now. We have marathon swimming. Yeah, the only thing worse I can imagine than running a marathon would be swimming a marathon. No thanks. And look, as much as I respect what they're doing, and that's probably arguably the most difficult event on here to do, it's one thing. I challenge anyone, go swim 100 meters. Just go swim 100 meters. That's what, down and back at most average size pools, a down and back, it's roughly 100 meters. Most people, the overwhelming majority of humans on Earth, can't even swim down and back. Now imagine swimming 26.2 miles. Are you crazy? And B, I'm not going to sit and watch that. You can't even see them. All you see is their head bobbing in and out of the water and their fucking arms. You can't even tell who's who. If they had no graphics, look, I'm not saying that, like, it's not a sport. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that what those athletes do isn't impressive. I'm definitely not saying that. It's arguably the most impressive thing to take place during the Olympics. But, oh my God, does it make for bad TV? It makes for bad. That's just boring TV right there. That is boring TV. But still, kudos to them. You're out there giving it your all, fighting for your medals, fighting for your dreams. I actually know someone that goes to my CrossFit gym. She has done those marathon swims. Yeah. No thanks, though. Modern pentathlon, I don't know. I know what a decathlon is. Is the pentathlon part of track and field? That I don't know. Oh, well, why don't I just click on it and see? You know, I guess I forget about all that. Okay, so this is 5 different disciplines. We have swimming, fencing, horse riding, which they put in parentheses, show jumping, pistol shooting, and running. Wow. That honestly sounds like the most fun one. Like, if there's guns involved, if we have guns and horses, do I get to wear a cowboy hat? Like, when it gets to the horse riding, am I wearing my gun still? So let's say I just got out of the swimming portion of it, whether it's in a pool or it's in a lake. Am I in Speedos holstered? Am I packing heat in Speedos? Hold on, let me rephrase that. Obviously, I'm packing heat in the Speedos. I'm really not. It's probably freezing cold, and it would appear to be quite the opposite of packing heat. What I meant was, am I packing a gun while wearing Speedos on a horse jumping over hurdles? That's all I want to know. Because if that's the case, fucking sign me up. Sign me up for that. Hands down, the coolest event, the modern pentathlon. I want to try to find it. I want to be a part of that. How do I get to be a part of that? I have no idea. I don't, they'd probably, how do you even like find out about that? What is a training regimen like for that? There's so many different disciplines you got to be good at. Rhythmic gymnastics. We have rowing. Rowing's very big up here in the Pacific Northwest, being on the Puget Sound. There's a lot of rowing clubs. Even down here in Olympia, there's a rowing. I think there's a couple different rowing clubs down here. You'll see them out in the summertime. You'll see them out in the Sound. Stroke, 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 stroke. I row enough at CrossFit. Actually, I stopped rowing at CrossFit because I hate rowing. So I just run. Anytime it says row, I just substitute run. But I've rowed plenty on the rowers. Maybe it's different when you're actually on the water and you're in cadence with other people. Maybe it makes it a little more enjoyable. What I do know is that rowing as part of a gym workout fucking sucks. It's good for you, but that doesn't mean it doesn't suck. We got rugby, sevens. So I think that's the smaller version of rugby, a little less people. A little less. I think the normal rugby has 11, 13. I don't know. It has more than 7. Sevens is just you're running constantly. I know some rugby players. You're just constantly running, doing sevens. So it's like, imagine soccer, except they fucking rip your head off. Like the amount that soccer players run is ungodly. Well, playing sevens is similar to that, except you're also getting your head ripped off. Sailing's cool. Those boats are amazing. When they get like totally sideways and they're, doing like 40 knots and they're just like banked over on one of the little boat thingies. I don't know what they're called. You can tell how much of a sailor I am. Is that the right kind of boat? What are those, like catamarans or something? I don't know. Are there any sailors out there that could set me straight on this? What are the boats that they use in the Olympics as compared to like the boats that they use in whatever that big, huge competition is that they do that's just unreal? Like those boats are worth millions of dollars. I'm sure all those boats are worth millions of dollars, even the Olympics. I can't remember what that competition's called. We got shooting. I mean, I don't really care for the guns. I wish they gave them like, more powerful guns, not like those target guns. They're just like pew pew. I want boom boom, not pew pew. I mean the pew pew, like those are cool too, but I want boom. I want those kind of guns. Skateboarding. I guess maybe I did know skateboarding was an Olympic sport. Sport climbing? Isn't that where they race? I think they race. And they just haul ass up those rock walls that are pretty high too. I mean, I don't know, how high are those? 40 meters? They look pretty damn high, some of them. Honestly, I think the funnest part would be as soon as they touch the top, how they just kind of let go of the wall. And since they're harnessed in, they just kind of slowly float back down to earth. That would be the funnest part. I mean, winning a gold medal would be the funnest part. But then the second funnest part would be gliding back down to earth. Squash. Don't know. I can honestly say I don't really care about squash. Surfing, I think that's awesome. A lot of people surf all over the world, and you'd be shocked how many people surf. Swimming, man, I like the swimming just because of it's to me it's exciting, especially the short stuff. The relays are cool. Those guys and gals get so much TV time that you actually kind of get to know their personalities a little bit through all their interviews and stuff like that. So I've always loved watching the swimming. Plus, I don't know, for whatever reason, the swimming really works on TV for a viewer, and the way they do the graphics and all that. It works. It's a good viewing experience. Table tennis, or as we call it here, ping pong. I mean, I think it's been in the Olympics for a while now. I watch it every once in a while if it's on. It's usually on some obscure, MSNBC or some late night news station has it. Taekwondo, tennis. I've always loved tennis. Trampoline. All right. Well, I had no idea that trampoline are they just like, how many flips can you do? How many flips can you do? You know what they need is, I don't know if everyone out there is familiar with a place called Boom Shaka, where they have like the huge foam pits and they have like the huge trampoline areas where it's like the floor is essentially just trampolines and it covers a massive space. If that's how the trampoline was and they can like just move all over the space, that would be cool. Like, I want to see them flying 50, 60 feet in the air. I want to see that. But if they're just on like a trampoline and they're just like going ridiculously high and doing a bunch of flips, which I think that's what they do. Like, it's cool. I mean, it's cool because I can't do it, but it's like, okay, you've seen them all. We got the triathlon. Again, that's crazy. Are those Ironman distances too? With the swim and then the bike and then the run? Ugh. Brutal. Those are a brutal 3 events to try to get a medal in one event. We got volleyball, regular volleyball, like on a court, like a basketball court or in a gym. We got water polo. And now that I think about my marathon swimming being arguably the most difficult one, I think an event that can hold a candle to it would be water polo. Like, talk about brutal on your lungs. Brutal. You're underwater, holding your breath. You're out of the water. You're constantly treading. And if you think that those people aren't physical, like, there's kicking. You can't tell me there's not, little finger jabs to the ribs. Like, you can't see what goes on, but every once in a while, when there's like a scrum for like a loose ball, and they show the camera view from under the water, people are getting brutalized underwater. People are getting absolutely brutalized. So that's a tough sport. I don't care what anybody says. Water polo is a tough, tough sport. Then we got weightlifting. I love Olympic weightlifting, which comprises of the clean and jerk and the snatch, and then you get your total for the 2. So it's impressive because those guys and gals are literally superhuman. I mean, a lot of dudes, like a lot of bro guys, think that they're strong. Like, I'm going to go to 24-hour fitness. Like, I'm fucking strong. Like, these women will outlift most men on earth. They are insanely strong at very low body weights too, because they got to hit their weight classes, just like wrestlers, just like Taekwondo, just like judo people, like they have weight classes. So the fact that they can get as strong and as powerful at essentially the least amount of weight possible is it's pretty amazing. And then we're ending with wrestling. I had heard that wrestling got the axe, that it went away, but I guess that's not true. Which, hey, that's one of the OG sports, Think back to like the first Olympics, what was it, the marathon? And then there was like wrestling, like people would just run and they would fight. I'm sure there was other stuff too. They threw things, but it was like running and fighting. Like, welcome to the Olympics. Well, I hope that everyone gets excited for the Olympics, kind of like I do. Not super excited, but I know we're a ways out still. I don't think it starts until August. But hey, educate yourself on the different events. I don't know, maybe pick one, go practice. Go have some fun with it. I'm not going to pick up really any of these except for boxing. And I like to lift some weights. That's my show for today. We are in February. Man, January went quick. Before we know it, this year's going to be over. The sun's out. I hope everyone's able to get outside. Get some vitamin D. Get some exercise. Hug your loved ones. It's probably going to be my only show this week, but we'll see. I may do one this weekend. I haven't decided. You know what I need to do? What I'm going to do right now, as soon as I get off this, get away from this mic, I'm going to go do my squats and my push-ups, and I'm just going to get those done. So I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I will talk with you later.